Hey my friends, how's it going? It's Ultimus, and got the last bit of 2v2s with my buddy Cosmic here, the Boomy. I've got 3 matches here for you to cap off this session of videos for you. This time going up against a Frost Mage Discipline Priest. As you can see there in the beginning, I did take Shatter. That's one thing I always want to make sure that I'm taking anytime I'm fighting a Frost Mage or a Paladin. I do like using that Glyph of Mortal Strike there as it is, but in general those are 2 classes that I like to use the Shatter on because it has the most use. Now, this strat for sure, we're going to try to sit Priest and go on the Mage. So as you can see, there goes my Stormbolt. I didn't time it right, and I caught it right on the tail end of the Cyclone, which sucked. I was able to interrupt that Penance though, which is a very easy spell to cast. As you can see, the Mage is taking a ton of damage. There's not a whole lot he's able to do there at this point. I'm popping Die by the Sword to kind of mitigate a little bit of that Frost Mage damage, since it does reduce damage taken by 20%. The Priests went down fairly easy, which tends to be the case for Priests, especially in 2s. In 3s, they tend to be very, very good, but in 2s, not so much. So now we're just trying to pour into the Mage here, because as much as I like to think this is an easy win, the Mage definitely has potential to still kill us. Luckily, he wasn't on top of his game. This time around, we have the Combat Rogue Frost DK combo, which initially isn't really a comp that synergizes very well necessarily. Rogue and DK is okay together. Combat, not so much. So the nice thing about Combat, though, is it does have the control, which Death Knights can capitalize on, since Death Knights have a hard time with being kited. They are both laying into me, so I'm trinketing there and popping Die by the Sword, fearing to get that Death Knight off of me as he's got his Remorseless Winter going. And the Rogue is just being wrecked apart. So instead of trying to chase the Rogue, I'm swapping back onto the Death Knight. And as you can see, the Rogue is still over there ticking for bleed damage. My Ren pops off there. I'm going to pop Whirlwind there, try to catch him. He pops out, which he's going to go right into an Execute. And that's going to be it for him. However, I'm still taking a lot of damage, so trying to keep myself alive. Pump the CC into the Death Knight. Luckily, they seem to leave my Boomy alone long enough to let him free cast, which I think in the end is what cost them the game. A couple classes you never want to let free cast: Locks, Hunters, Boomies. Oh my goodness. This last match is kind of fun too as well, coming up against a Resto Druid Arms Warrior. So we got up against the Healer DPS comp, which can be very, very frustrating in 2s. Luckily for us, we've got the damage front. So we got their Warrior up here already. He's popping cooldowns. He's going for it. So I'm keeping an eye on my Druid, because I don't want to just let him sit over there by himself necessarily, but I want to get on the Druid. So seeing that my Boomy is okay at the moment, he's dipping fairly low, but I want to put pressure on that Druid, so when I swap back over to the Warrior for peels, he's got a decision to make, and that's never a decision you want to have to make as a healer. But there's never a swap, because the Boomy, my Boomy ends up putting so much damage into him, he ends up dying before I can get back onto him. So ends up being a nice trade, and so it's just the poor Arms Warrior here left against the Boomy and an Arms Warrior, and that's not going to go so well. So that's going to be it for those games, guys. I hope you enjoyed them. I've got some more arenas coming up for you guys very, very soon. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.